Hello there. So, before I even delve into this new thought, I'll start off by saying no, I'm not being paranoid, and no, I am not a conspiratorial lunatic. With so many possibilities about what could be the cause of the Mandela effect and a brain that is constantly trying to figure it out, put the pieces together, these are just some of my contemplative thoughts. So in this video, I am going to touch and try to tread lightly upon the possibility that perhaps this is a conspiracy. And when I say that, I mean, yes, we are experiencing an effect, but it may come from a sort of collaboration or conspiracy against us. Like I said, I'm not paranoid, it's just another thought, another thing to throw in with all the rest of the things. Now, first let me define what I mean by us. I have noticed a commonality amongst those of us that have been going through this Mandela effect. First, a majority of us seem to be empaths. We seem to care greatly for our world and others around us. We seem to be sincere and caring, highly sensitive people. I have also noticed a trend that we also seem to be more aware of what is going on around us in the world that many others aren't. We don't seem to fall into the coined term of sheeple. We seem to have we seem not to have blinders on, and our heads are well above the sand, no matter how frustrated we get by what we see that others choose to be blind to. So on that note, I know that a lot of you watching this are and have been aware of the reality of the world we live in, the lies by those that are supposed to be governing us, the false flags, the hidden truths. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe not all of you, but I think a lot of you do. What is labeled conspiracy, I think a lot of us tend to believe that there's always some truth to a conspiracy. It's labeled as such to make it appear crazy, to steer one away from the learning more about it, to misdirect. Conspiracies are for lunatics. That is what has been pushed into our minds since it has been coined. But if you're like me, then you know there's always some truth to each conspiracy. Most of the time it's hidden amongst even crazier stuff so that you don't find it, but it's there. So I was watching part of a video yesterday and was reminded of a few things that I had forgotten. I'll mention a few things that are way out there first, and I'm not saying that they are something or anything or nothing, but they are interesting and some food for thought. Then I will give you some more of my thoughts and concerns for you to ponder as I wrap this video up. First, some of you may remember this video that someone unknown took from a tall building near the Twin Towers as they were hit. It appeared to be a barge with a pyramid-type structure on it during the attacks. I'll put a link to that video in my description. Not sure what that was about, but it was definitely odd. Bear with me. These kind of all link together. Maybe not. I don't know. Then this, which if you typed into Google Earth Mandela effect, it took you to one of the pyramids in Giza. It used to, anyhow. I tried it again just now before making this video, and now it says something to the extent of, sorry, I couldn't understand that command or something. Not sure what that is about, but that's definitely odd. Then the bizarre Gotthard tunnel opening in Switzerland, and the clock in the background, which goes forward to 9/11 and backward to 9/11 and back and forth, back and forth. I will put the link to that in the description as well. Not sure what that is about, but it was definitely odd. Then we had Google parking waterfront barges claimed to hold undisclosed high-tech equipment, claimed to be for invitation-only crowd to learn about technology. No pyramids on them. That would be a little weird. But why were they on barges? And why aren't they doing whatever they were doing in a building like normal? Why on barges? And don't forget, Google is one of the owners of the D-Wave computer. Google has also been cited making many visits to the White House recently. I will put the link in the description for that too. Now, let's remember how the government has in the past experimented with time travel, mind control, teleportation, and other tests that we would consider out there and crazy. And I would presume if they did them in the past, there would be no reason why they discontinued them, why they aren't doing them anymore, why they wouldn't be even more advanced, because a lot of these tests, they were, years and years and years ago. Remember the Philadelphia experiment, MK Ultra, they got DARPA experimenting with implants to create false memories, just to mention a few. And just think about all the cell phone towers, that are literally everywhere. Just when you think there are enough, more go up, and more, and more. I have one that just went up about 2 blocks from me, and I still only get 2 bars of phone service on my phone. And on that note, just a couple weird stories. In this past week, there was a family of 5 that live in Australia. They all went out of their mind at the same time, for no apparent reason. I'll include a link to that story in the description. But yes, from what I've read, they lived next to a cell tower. And another example, although this one is from a few years ago, is 2 Swedish twin sisters in England that suddenly decided they both needed to throw themselves into traffic on the highway. One minute they were acting normal, and just boom, they just were running out in front of the vehicles. One of them, I think, in fact, if I remember correctly, she gets up and does it a second time. It's crazy. You have to watch the video. It's crazy. The link will be in the description for that. And then there are all of those other really bizarre stories, the ones of seemingly random people suddenly running around naked and chewing on innocent people. Yes, they initially blame it on some new street drug, but in a lot of the extreme cases, the drug did not show up in their system after the autopsy was completed. Now, these stories are just the very tip of the iceberg, but I wanted to give you, just a few examples that, to me at least, says there's something definitely wrong. We're surrounded by cell towers, and most of us have cell phones, TVs, internet, etc. Then there are the things that we don't know about. It just seems that in the past several years, things have gone just wacky. It doesn't make any sense. Now, to take that thought and go back to what I mentioned about our commonality, having our eyes wide open, not following the herd, being more aware of life. If you want to control some things, but only some of those things are listening, what better way to weed out the ones who aren't listening than to target them in such a way that only they would respond because they aren't asleep? Then the Mandela effect. Think about how some of us have been experiencing ear ringing, headaches, and other physical annoyances. Coincidence? I don't know. Like I said, these are just more of my thoughts, more stuff to throw in with everything else. And I'll finish this again by saying no, I am not being paranoid and I'm not a conspiratorial lunatic. These are just more of my thoughts. If we don't all keep thinking, we'll never figure it out. I personally, this would really, really bother me because I do not want to be manipulated. I do not. The idea of different dimensions or realities overlapping sounds so much nicer to me than being manipulated. So let's just hope this is just goofiness on my part. But when I come up with this stuff, I like to share it with you guys, so I hope you don't take it personally. I hope some of you don't get pissed off. But anyways, thank you for listening, and on that note, I hope that y'all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye!